Do you wake up in the morning and have this unsightly gray area that just looks like you got in a fight with yourself overnight? So do I. And you know what usually causes it, I found for me, is if I've had too much sugar the day before. I just wake up with more purpley under eye areas. But today I am going to share with you exactly how to fix this so that no one's the wiser, whether you ate too much sugar, whether you didn't sleep good, or whether you just carry some darkness under your eyes. No worries, because your midlife beauty bestie, that's me. I'm gonna walk you through exactly how to fix this, and it's easier than you probably think. If we haven't met before, hi, I'm Jody, and yeah, I wake up with this quite often, and again, it really does depend on how much sugar I ate the day before. If I have a big event or something coming, that I really try to limit my sugar for about 3 days leading up to that event. Because I find that just I am more swollen, more puffy. Sugar tends to be inflammatory for me, and yeah, I get this. So here we go to cover this discoloration. And here's what you're gonna need before you get started. Grab your moisturizer, grab your setting spray, grab your color corrector, grab your concealer, grab your setting powder, some cotton pads, and a puff. First thing you wanna do is start by applying your moisturizer to that under eye area, and then we're just gonna let it sit for about 5 minutes to really absorb. Do you guys also carry that purple that's often under your eyes into that inner corner? I don't know why. I feel like the older I get, the skin becomes more thin and therefore more translucent, if you will. And so I think that's why I start to really carry that. But it's a very similar process to fixing it, just like the area under your eyes. Next, you're gonna take a cotton swab, add a little bit of your setting spray. This is gonna leave that area hydrated and gives you that grip for our next step. Next, you're gonna wanna use a color corrector. I use Refresh by RMS in the shade Cherish. You'll notice that the purple discoloration is neutralized by adding a peach color to it. And that's really what you wanna do before you add your concealer. Now, once you have that, you're just gonna press it in and neutralize that deep purple. If you got the Angie Hot and Flashy A506 brush, this is good for getting into that area. The Nikki LaRose N19 is also a great brush for this. If you don't have either one of these brushes, just use a smaller brush, or your fingers always work as well. But see how that color corrector has already gotten rid of a lot of the purple? That's an important step. Otherwise, if you're just going in with a concealer, then you're going to have to add way too thick of a concealer to get that purple gone. So you want to start with a thin layer of color corrector first, so that your concealer can also be a thin layer. On our more mature skin, 2 thin layers is way better than 1 thick layer of concealer. That's where that really wrinkled, dry, cakey look can come from. I've had many a makeup days that way. Now, a pro tip when applying your color corrector and your concealer, allow it to sit there and get a little bit tacky before you start to press it in. If you go to move it where you want it right after application, it's still a little bit wet and you won't get the coverage that you're after. Next, go in with a thin layer of concealer. I'm gonna put it on the back of my hand first. After that sat on my hand for a minute, I'm gonna go pick it up with a brush, put it into the inner corner, and then lightly tap it right where I want it to go. See how bright this inner corner is compared to this one where we haven't applied the concealer yet? Now, this works well with a medium coverage concealer, or in my case, I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury full coverage concealer. If you use a sheer concealer, you may find that you have to build it a little bit. So I always recommend, if you've got darker circles that you're trying to cover on a regular basis, you might want to go to not only a medium coverage concealer, but be sure to be using a color corrector as well. Now, with what's left on my brush, I'm going to carry that concealer to this under eye area where I'm also purple, but not nearly as bad as that inner corner. Now, this is an area that I really didn't realize was that big of a problem until it started to get darker and darker. And then I would finish my makeup and go, gosh, I still feel like I look tired or a little bit older than I want to. And it wasn't until I identified those 2 darker spots on each side of my nose as the culprit of me looking more tired that I addressed this issue. And I've loved my makeup a lot more since then. Now, the last step, take a puffer, add some powder to it, and then work that onto the back of your hand so that you have just the smallest amount of powder. Then you're going to take your setting spray, lightly mist that powder, and then roll right where you just applied that color corrector and your concealer. This is a gentle step because you don't want to move that product that you just placed, but by adding that setting spray to a light dusting of powder, you're adding extra grip and extra staying power so that discoloration stays at bay all day long and you enjoy your makeup look. Might as well finish my eye makeup since we're here together. I'm just gonna use a little bit of the Liquid Velvet Eyeshadow by e.l.f. This is in Beige and Bougie, I think. I'll list it down below. I just did it in a Friday face-off and man, it performed every bit as good as my Makeup by Mario Master Mattes did. Just add a little bit, take a big fluffy brush, blend it all around. This is such a fast process, you guys, with these cream eyeshadows. Just, oh, I love them. You just want to apply them on the lid for us more mature women and then lightly diffuse the shadow as it comes out and up towards your eyebrow. This is my new one and done eyeshadow routine. And when you have that discoloration neutralized in that inner corner, oh, it just looks like I've gone backwards in time about 20 years when I didn't have that discoloration on my eyes. I'll add a little bit of eyeliner. This is the Persona eyeliner. I've really liked this line lately. They've got a really nice liquid blush that I like. I love their lipsticks or their lip glosses, and their eyeliners are nice and creamy, and then they dry down to be like a no smudge formula. If you guys like more quick content and just what I'm wearing kind of behind the scenes, be sure to follow me over on Instagram because I post almost every day, whether it's what I'm wearing that day or some of my favorite products for setting a look or, you know, whatever, washing my face, toners, just stuff that's just really quick and short and not necessarily a full video, then you might enjoy some of that content over on my Instagram page as well. So be sure to check that out. And just to finish the look, I'm gonna grab a little bit more of that eyeliner on a pencil brush and just lightly go right under my lash line. I find that the older I get, I don't want the harsh line that you get from an eyeliner, the same one that I have above my eye. I do like the sharpness of the eyeliner on the upper lash, but down below I like a softer look, but I like the staying power and the color payout of an eyeliner. So I just apply it with a brush and I get the intensity of that eyeliner without the harsh line. Now you could always put it on and smudge it, but I find that the older I get, smudging under my eyes looks like I've smudged under my eyes. You know what I mean? That's just not, it just doesn't work the same as it used to. So that is how I get the look. So there you go. It's really easy to cover up or neutralize that darkness that you carry right through here. And if you haven't noticed it before, just go through this process and see if you like your finished look. Maybe that's the one thing that's holding you back from going, gosh, I look awesome today. If you want to see the full comparison of the e.l.f. liquid eyeshadow up against the Makeup by Mario, $8, $25. That was this week's Friday Face Off. I'll link that video right here for you. And next week is yet another Friday Face Off, so be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss anything that I have coming up. Thank you for being here, Midlife Beauty Besties. I hope this was a fun place for you to come and just escape the world and play with the makeup that you have. And I'll see you in just a couple days. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.